Fifth Avenue, Paris, Tokyo. The final destination is a stage of elegance.
Welcome inside.
Let me show you the new collection. But the process isn't finished until it meets its owner.
This moment, the immediate recognition of quality. This is what 20 minutes of engineering was for. It's not just warmth. It's a hug from nature, perfected by science.
A shield against the elements. An icon of style.
In the remote highlands of New Zealand, true luxury begins with nature's perfect design. This is the Merino, bred for centuries to produce a fiber thinner than human hair. Forget dusty barns. Our sheep reside in climate-controlled sanctuaries.
Stress produces cortisol, which makes wool brittle. Here, relaxation is mandatory. Every sheep is tracked by DNA. We know the history of every single fiber.
We only select the top 1% of the flock for this ultra-luxury collection. The harvest is a precise art, performed by world champions to ensure zero discomfort. This raw fleece, known as greasy wool, is worth more than its weight in silver. The journey from raw nature to industrial perfection is about to begin. Welcome to the scouring train. This is where the magic of purification happens.
The water is kept strictly at 65 degrees Celsius to melt the natural grease without shocking the fiber.
We use biodegradable detergents that gently break the bond between the dirt and the wool's surface.
These mechanical forks mimic the motion of hand washing, ensuring the fiber is never felted or damaged. After 5 stages of washing, the wool is now 99.9% pure protein. Aerodynamic drying fluffs the wool, restoring its natural volume and crimp.
It looks like clouds, and it feels just as soft. But it is still a chaotic mess of fibers.
Automation ensures that from this point on, no human hands touch the material to maintain sterility. The wool is thinned down to a single layer of fibers, known as the web.
Chaos is replaced by order. Every fiber is forced to lie parallel to its neighbor.
The veil is condensed into a sliver, a sleeve, a continuous river of soft wool. Precise coiling ensures the wool rests without tension, ready for the next critical step. Carding aligns the fibers, but combing perfects them. We ruthlessly discard any fiber shorter than 70 millimeters. These knolls are removed to prevent pilling later.
What remains is the top. Pure, long, strong fibers ready to absorb color.
To achieve lasting color, we don't dye the fabric. We dye the fiber itself.
Our recipes are calculated digitally. A deviation of a single milligram would ruin the entire batch.
The wool is compressed onto spindles to ensure the dye penetrates evenly through every layer. Superheated dye is pumped through the fiber core, bonding permanently with the protein structure.
This chemical bond ensures the color will never fade, even after decades of use.
From pristine white to royal burgundy, the transformation is total.
Dried and relaxed, the wool is now vibrant, but flat colors are boring. True luxury needs depth.
We don't just use one color. We blend them to create melange, a visual texture that mimics nature.
The gill box blends the fibers like mixing paint, creating a rich, heathered hue that solid color cannot achieve. Welcome to the spinning hall. Here, we defy physics, turning soft fluff into structural strength.
First, the roving frame gently stretches the thick sliver into a fragile, pencil-thin strand. This is the ring spinner. The traveler rotates 15,000 times a minute, inserting twist into the fiber.
Twist locks the fibers together. The more twist, the stronger the yarn. We aim for the perfect balance of durability and softness.
Centrifugal force creates this ballooning effect. Tension is monitored digitally to prevent breakage.
Optical sensors inspect every millimeter. If a defect is found, it is cut out instantly.
We don't use knots. We use air splicing to fuse the ends with compressed air, making the joint invisible in the final fabric.
A perfect cone. Continuous, knot-free, and strong. Ready to be woven into a masterpiece.
We enter the knitting cathedral. Here, digital code meets mechanical precision.
Sensors monitor the tension 100 times per second. If the yarn gets too tight, the feeder relaxes instantly.
These are not ordinary looms. These are 3D whole garment printers for wool.
The carriage moves at 1.5 meters per second, selecting needles with magnetic precision.
Thousands of latch needles dance in a choreographed sequence to create the fabric structure.
This is the revolution, Wholegarment. We don't knit flat panels. We knit the entire sweater as one 3D object.
Intricate cable patterns are programmed digitally, adding volume and luxury to the design.
No seams means no bulky joints, no irritation, and a silhouette that follows the body perfectly.
In 45 minutes, a single thread has become a wearable masterpiece. Zero waste, zero seams.
Fresh off the machine, the structure is perfect. But the touch is still crisp. It needs to be born again in water.
For our signature blankets, we switch from knitting to weaving. It starts with the warping creel.
They are wound onto the warping drum under high tension. A single loose thread here would ruin the entire production run.
Changing the warp used to take days. Now, a robotic knotter joins thousands of ends in minutes with surgical accuracy.
This is the Jacquard loom. It controls every single vertical thread independently, allowing us to weave complex patterns.
The rapier inserts the weft thread at 800 picks per minute. The eye cannot follow it, but the camera captures the flight.
The reed beats the thread into place. This high density is what gives the fabric its durability and warmth.
We weave in a classic herringbone structure. This zigzag weave offers superior drape and elasticity compared to a plain weave.
A tucked selve edge ensures the edges are cleed and will never fray, a sign of true high-end manufacturing.
The weaving is done, but look closely. The fabric is stiff and flat. It lacks the soul of luxury. That comes next. The fabric is woven, but it is raw. We call this greasy. It is stiff, oily, and imperfect.
Before any finishing touches, the fabric must pass the mending stage. This requires human eyes, not sensors.
Light reveals what the surface hides. Every knot, every thick thread is exposed.
A slub is a tiny imperfection. It must be surgically removed.
If a thread is missing, our artisans reweave it by hand. This is invisible mending.
Knots are pushed to the reverse side. The face of the fabric must be flawless.
Only when the fabric is structurally perfect does it earn its ticket to the finishing spa.
Individual rolls are sewn together to form a continuous ribbon, ready for the wet process.
The fabric accumulates in the J-box, allowing the finishing line to run non-stop.
Now, the physical transformation ends, and the chemical magic begins. It's time to wash.
First, we must strip away the sizing starch and oils added during weaving to protect the yarn.
Now, they are impurities.
High-pressure jets penetrate the weave, ensuring the fabric is chemically neutral and perfectly clean.
This is the most critical step, milling or fulling. It is a controlled felting process.
Under friction and moisture, the wool fibers are kneaded. They are forced to release their tension.
The microscopic scales of the wool open up and interlock. The fabric actually shrinks, becoming denser and softer.
We intentionally shrink the fabric by 15%. This transforms a loose weave into a cohesive, weather-resistant shield. Gentle extraction removes gravity-bound water without crushing the newly formed pile.
An optical sensor finds the twist and reverses it, opening the rope back into a flat sheet instantly. A final mist of organic softener restores the natural lubrication, giving the wool its legendary cashmere touch. The fabric is soft but unstable. The stenter frame is where we discipline the wool, setting its final dimensions forever.
Thousands of pins grip the fabric edges. This ensures the fabric is held perfectly flat as it enters the heat.
We gently stretch the fabric back to its target width. This counteracts the shrinkage from the milling process.
Laser sensors scan the weave. If the pattern is skewed even by a degree, the machine automatically adjusts to straighten it.
Hot air circulates at 130 degrees Celsius. It dries the wool while setting the protein memory of the fiber. Shock cooling locks the dimensions in place. This guarantees your blanket won't shrink in the wash.
The pinned edges are trimmed away and recycled. What remains is a pristine, flawless sheet of wool.
The roll is now dry, stable, and chemically pure. But it is not yet luxury. It lacks the velvet touch. We move to the dry finishing zone. This is where engineering meets artistry.
To create the famous cashmere pile, we use nature's own tool, the teasel.
The cylinder spins against the fabric flow. Millions of tiny hooks gently graze the surface.
This is raising. We lift thousands of fiber ends from the yarn core to create a dense, vertical pile.
The weave structure disappears, replaced by a cloud of soft fibers. But it is uneven and wild.
To create perfection, we must cut. The shearing machine acts like a precision lawnmower for wool. The blade is set to a tolerance of 0.1 millimeters. It shaves the pile to a perfectly even height. The result is a surface that feels like velvet. The color depth is intensified.
Finally, decotizing. We use high-pressure steam to press the fabric, giving it a permanent, subtle luster. This process adds a natural sheen, the hallmark of true luxury wool.
Our AI scanners verify perfection one last time before we cut.
The continuous journey ends. Now, individual products will be born.
We don't use chalk or paper patterns. Lasers project the cutting map directly onto the fabric.
AI algorithms nest the patterns to ensure maximum material usage, minimizing waste to near zero.
A high-frequency blade oscillates 5,000 times a minute, slicing through layers of wool with surgical precision. The waste is immediately vacuumed away to be recycled back into insulation materials. Nothing goes to landfill. The continuous roll is now thousands of individual components, ready for assembly.
For our scarves, we don't hem the edges. We create tassels.
The machine twists and knots the fringe faster than the eye can see, securing the weave forever.
Panels are joined using a cup seamer. This creates a seam that stretches with the knit, unlike a rigid straight stitch.
Genuine mother-of-pearl buttons are attached by robots to ensure they never fall off.
The buttonhole is cut and reinforced in a single action, ensuring clean edges that won't fray.
Assembly is done, but the garment is wrinkled and stressed. It needs to relax.
The brand label is woven from silk, not polyester, to ensure it never scratches the neck.
A double back tack secures the label. It is a promise of quality that will last a lifetime.
Robots are fast, but they lack judgment. Only a human eye can spot and remove the final stray threads.
This is not an ironing board. It is a vacuum table. Suction holds the garment in place, preventing stretching.
We use dry steam, not heat. The steam swells the fibers, removing wrinkles instantly without crushing the pile.
The vacuum sucks cold air through the fibers, locking the smooth shape into memory.
We never puncture the fabric. The hang tag is attached to the care label loop to avoid damaging the weave. Flawless, branded, and shaped, the product is finished. Now, we must package it like a jewel.
We don't use flimsy cardboard. We form rigid, 1200 GSM board boxes that feel like furniture.
The logo is hot stamped with real gold foil at 140 degrees. It's not printed, it's engraved.
Using a folding board ensures every single sweater is folded to the exact same dimensions, down to the millimeter.
We use acid-free tissue paper. Standard paper would turn yellow over time and damage the wool's pH balance.
Each piece comes with a signed certificate, tracing the wool back to the specific flock in New Zealand.
The satin ribbon is tied by hand. The bow is the final seal of approval.
Solid click.
Protected inside armor.
Leaving the sanctuary of the valley, our wool begins its global voyage.
Crossing oceans and time zones, arriving at the fashion capitals of the world.
Fifth Avenue, Paris, Tokyo. The final destination is a stage of elegance.
Welcome inside.
Let me show you the new collection. But the process isn't finished until it meets its owner.
This moment, the immediate recognition of quality. This is what 20 minutes of engineering was for. It's not just warmth. It's a hug from nature, perfected by science.
A shield against the elements. An icon of style.
Nature. Chemistry. Mechanics. Passion.
From the sheep to the shop, this was the full process. Thanks for watching.